Hi everybody, Kaiwaza with you. Welcome back to my channel and to another edition of the Cheap Lounge. We're on season 4. Welcome to episode 17. This is the show where I discuss cheap lounge records, easy listening and such that I have picked up here and there, and that recently I have digitized and uploaded onto my hobby radio station, Moody Mood Music, on live365.com, which you can listen to at any time, and that's going to be linked down below in the description box. 24 hours, 7 days a week, absolutely free for you to listen to, if you can stand it. It is the online radio station that's sort of a salute to the beautiful music, easy listening, elevator music, whatever you want to call it. Radio stations of the past decades, also the Muzak type services that where you used to hear every place you went, the grocery store, department store, call waiting, everywhere you went you would hear this kind of music, and now you hear it absolutely nowhere. Dead, a truly dead format. Are there any beautiful music terrestrial radio stations still on the air? I mean, there might be one or two somewhere, I don't know. There are some online sources, and yeah. Anyway, I have to excuse I know it's not really autumn yet, but I'm getting ready to do some traveling, and I'm going to be gone from here basically all of the autumn, candle burning, pumpkin spice enjoying, autumnal seasoning. I'm going to be at sea, and then I will be on land for a few weeks, and I'm just going to be gone basically from mid-September to mid-November, so I'm going to kind of miss most of it. So I decided I'm going to celebrate my Halloween, autumn, fall stuff early, and I've been enjoying all these wonderful autumnal, scary, whatever candles, and I'm drinking my tea with sugar-free pumpkin spice, which I finally found. I was looking for it kind of early, but one place did have sugar-free pumpkin spice. So I'm enjoying that in my autumnal mug. I have a really nice Halloween mug somewhere too that I can't find. I don't know maybe I broke it. You know, I think I broke it now that I think about it. That's why it's not here. But anyway, I have this one, and I can look for another one. Happy early autumn. Isn't there a song? When early autumn, something, something. Anyway, enough. Let's talk about some records. Now, I don't have a lot to say about any of these. I'm just going to show you some, and then we'll do needle drops of the ones we're talking about here today. A lot of budgety stuff too. I didn't really plan it that way, but that's just kind of what happened. This is not budgety. First one up, Mariano and the Unbelievables. If you ever heard of these guys, I actually had their second album quite a while back, and then I picked up this one somewhere along the way. But they play, at the time, contemporary music. This is 1967. This came out, and they're playing like pop songs, Beatles songs, and whatever of the day, but in a Baroque style. On the harpsichord with the instruments you see here. They're great. It's really, really fun. I love this kind of stuff, and it's interesting how well some of it actually does sort of translate into a Baroque style. The artist here, Mariano, is originally from Argentina. Very, very beautiful. Almost, if you could do the makeup a little different, almost kind of vampire-y, don't you think? And that sort of Victorian vampire thing. Anyway, if you run across anything by Mariano and the Unbelievables, I would pick it up. It's pretty fun stuff. It's nice. Here's one. This is kind of a budget label. Tops. Curt, Massey, and Martha Tilton. I'm not very familiar with either one of them. I know the name Martha Tilton, though, does come up on some of these sort of 1950s budget labels here and there. I see Martha Tilton coming up. I didn't know when I got this because I didn't read the notes or whatever when I first picked it up. I assumed these were not the artists on the cover. I figured it was just, models or whatever, some sort of stock photo. But this is actually Curt, Massey, and Martha Tilton. We sing the old songs. Well, so these are mostly very old songs, although not entirely. Some of them were somewhat, not very old at that time, and they do talk about that. But they all have that kind of old feeling, turn of the century feeling, or old romantic notions. And so Curt, Massey, both of them did a lot of singing. We're not going to go into a whole biography of them, but they both were singers in their own right, who were known in their own right, who started out in groups and ended up being kind of solo singers. And they both had careers with various big bands singing and having their own. Keeg, I believe, had his own radio show, and she had quite a long career. She's on some budget label Christmas records. If you get Tops or some of the budget label Christmas albums, I know a lot of people have those. She's usually listed as one of the singers on those. Anyway, I did not have high hopes for this record. I thought, I don't know, it's going to be turn of the century stuff, whatever. But I loved it. That's why I'm talking about it here, because it was so cute. They were very crispy, nice arrangements. Yeah, old-fashioned, but they were still kind of modern. I mean, they were very, very, very listenable and kind of jazzy, and I just enjoyed this record so much more than I thought that I would. So definitely, if you see it, it's another one I would be aware of. Now, this next one, I know we've talked about this issue before. Well, we're just going to bring it up again. This album is on Metro Records. Metro Records was kind of the budget arm of MGM Records. Amongst other things, they often would reissue somewhat abridged versions of things they had already issued on MGM, and they would, leave out a couple tracks and reissue it on Metro. That's what this one is. It is called Spain, very simply, and it is by Manuel, his Spanish guitars and orchestra. Lovely record, extremely lush arrangements with some nice use of bongos and congas and some lush percussion, very lush string arrangements here. Not as heavy use of guitars as you would think, considering it's Manuel, his Spanish guitars and orchestras, but there are Spanish guitars on it. Loved the album. Now, the reason that we're bringing this up, because as I was listening to this, Manuel, as you may or may not know, is a fake name that Jeff Lowe, British orchestra leader and composer, who had the Jeff Lowe's orchestra, also recorded under the name Manuel and did a whole series of records by Manuel and his Music of the Mountain. And they were all exotica, exotic this, exotic that, misty, magic mountain, whatever. And it's all the same kind of thing, very lush orchestral arrangements with the heavy use of percussion, not disruptive, crazy percussion like ping pong percussion, but very lush, very, much incorporated into the arrangement, but really nice stuff. And when I was listening to this, I thought, I feel like I've heard these before. And sure enough, you can find these very numbers distributed from Longines Symphonette. We've mentioned this before in a box set called Ebtide, that was credited to Longines Symphonette, but it's actually all tracks by Manuel and his Music of the Mountains. It's all them, although they credited it to Longines Symphonette. Also, The Song Is You is a free album that came out on Longines Symphonette, and the songs on that also, I think, predominantly, if not totally, are also all Manuel and his music of the mountain tracks from other albums. So we still don't know. I'm still curious what the story is, like why this came out in 1966. The Ebb Tide set, I think, came out around 70, 71, something like that. So we just don't know. We're just throwing this idea out here again and saying, how is it? How did Longines Symphony got the license to release all that Manuel material, but not credit him, but credit themselves, just say it's a Longines Symphonette? And why? Because Longines Symphonette did many sets of other artists, Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass, and Nat King Cole, and other orchestras, Burt Kempford and stuff. And they, it's a box set for them. Manuel was a known entity. Jeff Love and Manuel was a known orchestra in Europe. They had a lot of big selling records in Europe. There are people that would have known who Manuel was. Did they just think he wasn't well known enough they didn't want to use his name? Or another point we thought of, I was talking about this with my friend Scott the other day, like maybe we actually have conversations about this kind of thing. I know, people are like, what? But maybe it was between the time what's it called? The musical director, Michel Piastro, was the musical director of Longines Symphonette, and he passed away in 1970. And then Mantovani was brought on board a little bit later as the musical director. And I was thinking this was 66. I don't know. So maybe like in 1970 or 71, maybe Longines Symphonette was feeling like we need to have a orchestral box set. We haven't put anything out like that. Like everything's been whatever, singers or something. We need a lush orchestral box set. And we don't have anything right now because we don't have a musical director. We don't have anybody recording anything for us that right now. Let's see can we buy something else? Can we get the rights to something maybe from England or whatever? And that's quality, that's good stuff, and then we can release it over here under our name. So it looks like our orchestra, the Longines Symphonette, which it wasn't, put together that set. Or could it be that Manuel, Jeff Love, did not want to be associated with Longines Symphonette, but he was happy to have his music sold and get money for it, but he was like, I don't want my music to be on a Longines Symphonette box set, okay? No. You can call it what you want, but don't call it Manuel. I don't know, it's a theory. What do you guys think? Anybody that knows anything about this kind of the industry or the box sets and what? I'm just very curious about what the story is. Anyway, beautiful record. If you see anything by Manuel, I would pick it up. He also recorded an album as Mandingo. That's quite an album, too. I can't even show you the cover to that one. Now, here's a lovely record with a lovely picture, and I think it's most well known for its cover. This is Waldorf Music Incorporated. I guess would you call Waldorf Music a budget label? It's kind of, right? But we all love this painting of this exclusive portrait of the lovely Jane Mansfield. This album, Moments to Remember, by Enoch Light and Vincent Lopez, mostly by Enoch Light. I just, of course, would be attracted to this for the cover, but I'm telling you, the music is actually great. And Enoch Light, I love the Enoch Light arrangements on here. This is before his era. This is the 50s. This is before he did all that crazy percussion stuff and Command Records and Enoch Light and the Light Brigade and all that fabulous stuff. This is before that, where he was still sort of a normal orchestra, but nice arrangements and really nice use of the wordless chorus and the wordless female vocal, which I love a wordless female vocal. like going in, weaving in and out of a song. There's plenty of that on here. In fact, I want to find a better cover of this. I hope I find a better copy of this, because this one is a little bit scratchy, and there's a couple tracks that I wanted to use and I really couldn't because there's too many skips in it and whatever. So, but you know what I did upload, I love it. And I'm going to keep an eye out for a cheapie. I don't want to spend money now, but a cheapie copy of this if I come across it in better condition. Now, lovely Jane Mansfield, but then look what I found on Color Tone Records. It's an exclusive portrait of the lovely Jane Mansfield. I don't know how exclusive this portrait is, as it sure seems to get around. I wonder if there's any more out there with it. There probably are. This is by the Triads, featuring Hammond organ, accordion, and guitar. Serviceable album. This, obviously, if you're familiar with them, is a cash-in group, Triads, made just for this album, cashing in on the sound of the Three Sons, who was a popular instrumental group that had Hammond organ, accordion, and guitar. That's what this is. They even cover some of the same songs that the Three Sons did on their early albums. So this one's in much better condition. We love the label on Color Tone too, and lovely record. But I just, really wanted to point out, I wonder if there's more. Anybody else have others with the same picture on it? The same exclusive portrait? Here's a album that, it's a budget label. I just show it because, talking about the Three Sons, this is kind of what Diplomat Records was doing instead of the Three Sons, because the Three Sons was quite a popular small group. They called theirs the Young Lovers. I don't know where that comes from. I don't know what the title they were cashing in on, but I've had several design records that are by the Young Lovers, and it's not a real group. It's a made-up thing. But they all feature very small combo instrumentals on Diplomat. Some might be organ, some might be piano, some might have an accordion, some might have a flute, whatever, but it's all only like 2-3 instruments, 3-4 instruments, whatever. They're small combos. And this is one of those. It's called Love is Blue, green tambourine, and the love theme from Elvira Madigan. Lovely cover. And again, you'd look at it and not know those songs except for the hit songs, but it's all actually public domain music. These are all classical themes that they have just popularized. Most of them are pretty well known, had already been popularized as popular tunes, but with different names, but they're classical themes. You'd recognize almost all of them, I'm sure, if you just listen to the album and go, oh, that's the Hymn to the Sun, except they call Love in the Sun here. Like, okay, we got it. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed this album. I did like the arrangements, and we uploaded the whole thing. Basically, we just uploaded the whole album because it's very much format for Moody Mood music, and I like it. Interestingly, another story, I don't know the connection, because Design Records at some point was linked up with Pickwick Records, although they were different companies. At some point they were hooked up. And the Pickwick also used the name The Young Lovers for one of their fake groups, but it's not the same. When Pickwick uses, this is a terrible album. I hate it. I didn't use anything for the station from it, but it was interesting that I do have a couple of them where Pickwick is using the name The Young Lovers for their fake group, but these are what they call soft rock. Some of them aren't very soft, by their cover group. Not very good either. And I don't know if they used that same name when they were linked up, or like, why did they use, because they're not at all related. Whenever you see the Young Lovers on Design, it's like the Three Sons. When you see the Young Lovers on Pickwick, it's covering pop songs. That's kind of it. I did a CD that picked up recently. I love Ethel Merman so much. Not going to talk because I've been talking too much already. But we love Ethel Merman, and this is an unusual CD because it is a rarities. This is a collection. It's called "The World Is Your Balloon." The Decca singles from 1950 to 1951. So these are just 45s that she put out. These are not part of any albums that she did. And a lot of these songs are from musicals because, she was very much known for being in Broadway musicals and whatnot. Are from musicals that she was not associated with or were not in, but she liked these songs. So she did singles of them. And then there's other things, just other singles on here too. There's several that she did in duet with Jimmy Durante and with Ray Bolger. So the CD is from 2005. Kind of interesting, kind of fun stuff. Some very politically incorrect stuff these days. There's one song, I liked it, but I don't know. I didn't put it on the station. I might change my mind, but I can't even pronounce it except it's called the Lake Song. You ever heard of it? Charuga uga macha uga chuga chuga booga mauga maug. It's mocking this long Indian name for a lake, right? And they sing it several times in the song. It's a cute song, I still might, I don't know, because I kind of roll that way, but somebody could be like, that is just, you can't play something like that now. I'm sort of like, oh yeah, I could. I don't know. It's kind of cute. But there's some cute songs on this record, some singles. None of them were hits. I mean, she didn't have like single hits, but cute. And finally, okay, this is a rarity for me. This is a rare thing. It's very rare for me to buy a brand new record in a place that sells new records. That is just extremely rare. But I did it yesterday. I had an eye doctor's appointment. I was at the mall. I was in Barnes and Nobles looking around, and I saw this record and I was like, when did this come out? I missed this. And I looked it up to see, and I thought, I kind of want to get it. And I'm like, oh, do I want the vinyl though, or do I want it on CD? It must have come out on CD also, because sometimes the CDs on newer stuff is a little easier to deal with depending on what it is. In this case, well, it makes sense when I explain it. But anyway, I was like, you know what, you can order it and blah, 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 and probably get it cheaper, but then you have to wait for it. And you know what? I mean, I never pay, $33 for a record is just crazy, but that's how much they are, the new record. And I was like, give them $33 and take it home with you today and be done with it. And I was like, okay, because I have everything else. It's Vince Guaraldi, A Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. I love the Charlie Brown soundtracks. I love Vince Guaraldi. I really like his music. And it's very nostalgic to me. And I I missed this coming out. I don't know when this came out. Well, 2023 is when it came out, but somehow I just missed the boat. And I thought, well, maybe I could get a CD and then it would be easier. I wouldn't have to digitize it and it'd be easier to, well, I would, but I wouldn't have to record it, and it'd be easier to edit or whatever. Because it is one of those ones that's got all these little excerpts and these little tiny short pieces that you're not going to really use for the radio station or whatever. And that's, anyway, I was like, I'm going to get it. And I just recorded it yesterday and digitized it and put selections on it. I love it. I love Charlie Brown music. And this has some different versions of Linus and Lucy. The Thanksgiving theme is unique to the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. So I was happy I got it. It's also a picture disc, which for me is neither here nor there or whatever. But cute. So yeah, a very, very rare occasion. I bought actually a brand spanking new record from a place that sells new records. Anyway, let's listen to some needle drops from these records.
the man in the moon. I'm going to marry him soon. 'Twould fill me with bliss just back again
and take me in your arms and hold me like I've been holding you in my heart.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I mean that if I catch a little cold,
I'll sneeze for you.
On a frosty winter day,
I'll freeze for you.
If you're restless, I will sail the seas for you. It really doesn't matter. Grab a chair and fill your platter and dig, dig, dig right in. If I knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake.
Hired a band?
Well, for goodness sake! If I knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake. How'd you do? How'd you do? How'd you do? Who's there?
It ain't Jack the Bear, and I'm coming.
Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that. If you have these albums or any convo of thoughts about these artists or whatever, I'm more than happy to hear from you in the comments section, where we often keep a little convo going for a while. If you're interested in this kind of music, you might want to go back and check previous videos for the comments, because sometimes there's quite a few more commentary and people that have way more knowledge than I do about some of these recordings, and artists will fill in the blanks here and there. But I'm going to stop now because I'm going to finish my tea. And enjoy my leaves, and I have so many things burning and melting right now. I've got a leaves candle, I've got a Stranger Things candle from Bath and Body Works going, and I have some pumpkin maple butter wax melting, so you can imagine the aroma along with my pumpkin spice tea. All right, have a good day, you guys. We will talk to you in the next video. Don't forget, you can check out Moody Mood Music. That's linked below. Any time of the night or day, 24 hours a day. Yeah, so I hope you enjoy that. Please take care. Have a good week.